Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Today, we're breaking down a topic that keeps resurfacing online. Why do some Somalis seem frustrated with Black Americans, and why do some Black Americans feel the same way back? This isn't about blame. This is about culture, identity, and misunderstanding, and how social media can magnify tension. And really, we know that social media can magnify any problem because the people who feel the strongest and have the loudest voices are the ones that are going to be on social media making video after video about the same thing. So now that the Somalis are in the spotlight, especially the ones in Minnesota, they are looking for support. They need support, really. And Black Americans are backing off saying, no, remember when you said you weren't Black? No, remember when you said this? No, remember when you said that? So that's how come we're not going to support you. But this is mostly online. So let's get into this discussion. Somalis and Black Americans come from very different historical experiences. In Somalia, identity is shaped by clan, ethnicity, and religion. In the United States, Black identity is shaped by the legacy of slavery, segregation, and civil rights. So when Somali immigrants arrive in America, they're entering a racial system that didn't exist in their home country. Some don't immediately identify as Black in the African American sense. Maybe not out of disrespect. I don't know if it's out of disrespect or not, but because it's really just a new category. And let's face it, Black has been so stigmatized in the world that nobody would readily identify as Black when they come to the United States. You have to be here for a while and you have to see how the racial dynamics in this country play out before you realize, oh, okay, that's how it is. Because some of the Somalis come here trying to identify as Arabs, like we don't know the difference. Arabs do not accept Somalis as their own. And you see that the Arabs have not in any way tried to come to their rescue since they've been in the spotlight in the United States. So they are not Arabs. And to say they are is really almost like they're trying to fool other people. And Black Americans cannot be fooled. I think that has been established. Now, according to the research I've done, most of the conflict we see isn't happening in real life. It's happening online where misunderstandings spread quickly. I don't live among Somalis at this time. I have in the past, but I don't now, so I can't speak for what's happening in real life. But some of the Somali frustrations are feeling pressured to act Black in a way that doesn't match their culture, feeling judged for being different, and feeling blamed for issues in cities like Minneapolis. And Black people are not the ones that's blaming them for what's going on up there in Minneapolis. Black people aren't doing that. So we can just step away from that one. But the frustrations that Black Americans are having are feeling like some Somalis distance themselves from Blackness as if there's something wrong with being Black. Black Americans also feel disrespected by comments about Black American culture, which are mostly based in stereotypes. And Black Americans also feel like unity is expected only when convenient. And we see that now. People thinking, oh, where are the Black Americans? Yeah, but where were you when we needed you? So these perceptions are not universal truths, but they are perceptions that shape reactions. Now, I just want to speak about not calling people black. Like, I don't get upset when these immigrants say they're not black because I do understand that they come from cultures where everybody's black, so they don't single out blackness. But I also feel like they shouldn't identify as black because we as Black Americans have had a black experience in the United States. We have had to transcend the meaning of blackness in the ordinary sense of how other people see it, and we have had to turn blackness into excellence. So I don't think they should call themselves black because as Black Americans, we have agency in this country that they don't have. And we see that now with them running and screaming and having hissy fits over being deported. We're not having that problem. We have other problems. But the fact that we have agency in the United States based on the experience that we've had, and they don't understand that. They don't understand that. They think, well, call yourself brown or call yourself something else. We could easily call ourselves brown because most of us are brown or lighter. But that's not the point. The point is that this was imposed on us. We didn't get our slave ships and one day woke up and decided, oh, it would be so cute to call ourselves black. We didn't do that. That was imposed on us. So we had to find a way to transcend the ugliness of what people meant when they called us black. We had to have the strength, the tenacity, and the depth of knowledge of self to transcend it and say, yes, black is beautiful. They haven't had that experience. So I don't think we should call them black. And that's just how I feel about it. And I would just add this for context. As far as the United States government is concerned, they are black. Anybody coming out of sub-Saharan Africa is considered black. Somalia is in sub-Saharan Africa. They also call it the Horn of Africa, but it's also sub-Saharan Africa. So racially, they are black. When it comes to their ethnicity, they are their tribe, clan, or the nation that they came from, Somalia. But where their race is concerned, they are black. So Somalis right now are under fire. And when immigrant communities face political pressure like deportation fears of public scrutiny, they get defensive. That stress can spill into online spaces where it looks like anger towards Black Americans. But the root cause is fear, not hostility. Black Americans give as good as they get. So if somebody throws something out there, Black Americans are going to catch it and throw it back. That's just the way it is. But the bottom line is that people are just trying to figure it out. The Somalis are trying to figure out, who am I in this country and where do I fit? They are navigating a new racial system. Black Americans, and we can be very sensitive. We're navigating a long history of exclusion, of people coming to this country and distancing themselves from us because they think somehow, it's going to hurt them. And then when they find out how the system really works, then they want support. Then Black Americans are side-eyeing them saying, no, remember how you acted before? So both groups are misunderstood. And so when two groups are misunderstood, conflict becomes easy. Now, for the part that nobody talks about. Many Somalis openly support Black Americans, acknowledge past misunderstandings, and want unity. And there are many Black Americans who welcome Somali communities, celebrate their culture, and want connection. But those voices don't go viral. Drama does. I have said before that I lived among the Somali people and I found them to be likable. And that's just the experience I had. And, a lot of people didn't agree with me even saying that. The tension between Black Americans and Somalis is really not about hate. It's about cultural differences, miscommunication, online stereotypes, stress, identity, and the pressure of living in America's racial system. Somalis are East Africans. They did not participate in the transatlantic slave trade. They were not a part of capturing and selling our ancestors. So, in that regard, we don't have any inherent suspicion or dislike for them, or we shouldn't have. So, I think that it's possible that at some point in time, there may be better understanding between the two groups, because we originally wanted more African descended people in this country for political reasons. And one day it might be the Somali people, because they're learning a lesson right now. They're taking a beating right now. But this too shall pass, and they will learn something from this. You will never have to have another conversation with them about white supremacy and racism. They're seeing it up close and personal and firsthand. So if they're smart, they'll learn from this. They'll learn something that we've already known and would have told them if they had listened. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video and have a good day.